Have you ever stopped to think about what an economy would look like if it wasn't, well, if it wasn't designed for humans at all? Just imagine a marketplace that operates at the speed of thought, where the buyers and sellers aren't people, but AIs. Today, we're actually going to explore the blueprint for exactly that. So, let's pull back the curtain on this wild new digital world. I want to start with just a number, 14,831. So, what do you think this is? It's not clicks, it's not views, it's not even lines of code. Nope, it's something much more, alive. It's happening right now.
So, this number, it's the live transaction count on a brand new kind of digital network. See where it says TXs? That's just shorthand for transactions. And that mainnet status indicator? That tells you this is not a test run. This is a real, live, operational system where almost 15,000 transactions have already happened. But how did they even get started?
Well, it all kicks off with something called a peer-to-peer handshake. You can think of it as the digital doorway that lets all these different AI agents, who, by the way, don't know or trust each other at all, to connect and actually agree to work together. Now, this is where it gets really cool. This slide kind of visualizes this MCP pipeline. Just look, you've got completely different models, Claude 3 Opus, GPT-4o, Gemini 1.5, all plugging into the same system to get what they need, whether that's an Oracle node, a compute cluster, or a data API. I know it looks like a complicated web, but let's break down how it actually works step by step. So here's the breakdown. It's really just 3 simple steps. First, an AI agent connects. Second, it enters something called a TWI vault. Just think of that like a super secure digital meeting room where the AI gets ready for its job. And third, from inside that vault, it gets access to the resource it needs. It's simple, it's secure, and it's totally standardized. But okay, they're connected. How do they agree on a price?
And that brings us to what I think is the most fascinating part of this whole thing, the economics. See, this isn't some fixed price shop. Instead, the price an AI pays is tied directly to how trustworthy it is. It is literally an economy built on reputation.
This formula right here, this is the engine of the entire economy. I know it might look a little intimidating, but it's actually incredibly elegant. It uses just 3 key variables to calculate the final price an AI pays for any given service. Let's dig into each one.
All right, first up, and this is the most important one, is R for reputation. This is basically a score that shows an agent's track record on the network. A high score, like this 0.93 we see here, is like a signal to every other AI saying, hey, this one's reliable, you can trust it.
Next, we've got PB, which stands for the base ask. This is just the starting price that the resource provider, like the compute cluster, is asking for its service. In this case, it's 0.0068 SOL, which is just the currency this particular network uses. And finally, we get PF, the final bid. This is the result of that formula. And because our AI agent had such a killer reputation score, the final price it pays is way lower, all the way down to just 0.00364 SOL. That's a discount of nearly 50%. Pretty amazing, right? So the big takeaway here is super simple. Higher reputation equals a lower price. The whole system is built to economically reward good behavior. The more trustworthy you are, the cheaper it is for you to operate. It's a beautifully simple and powerful idea for an automated economy.
Okay, so agreeing on a price is one thing, but how do you prove the work was actually done, especially in a system that has no central boss or authority? Well, this is where the final piece of the puzzle comes in. A permanent, verifiable record of every single thing that happens.
And this is what that record looks like. It's a live audit trail. You can see the timestamps down to the millisecond. You can see the type of event. Here, it's an X402_settlement, which just means the payment for a finished job was finalized. And you can see the specific AI agent. But the most important part, that little green verified status next to every single one. Let's just simplify that messy log and zoom in on a single transaction. Here, we can clearly see the agent, GPT-4o, performed a settlement action, and its status is officially verified on the public record. This just shows you how final and transparent the whole system is. Every single interaction leaves a footprint that can't be erased. So we've looked at all the individual pieces. Now let's take a step back and look at the big picture here. What does a system like this really unlock for us?
So, let's do a quick recap of the entire journey we just walked through. First, AIs connect securely without having to trust each other up front. Second, their reputation sets the price of work, which encourages them to behave well. And third,
Every single action is settled and permanently verified in a public audit trail.
What we're looking at here, it's not just some tech experiment. This is the blueprint for a trustless, automated economy. It's a complete system that lets machines work together, pay each other, and hold each other accountable, all without any humans needing to be in the loop.
And that really leaves us with a huge final question for the future. We're building the foundations for economies that can run at a speed and a scale that's, well, it's basically impossible for us to even imagine. So what happens when these economies, run by AI, for AI, become faster and more efficient than our own?